9 years old, 4 years the elder of Mallory Martin. Both athletes stand 5 feet 4 inches tall. On point at weigh-ins, it is 𝐓𝐇𝐈𝐒 that will enjoy a 3 1/2 inch reach advantage. For our official introductions, here is Hartzell Gray.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Invicta FC action continues in this strawweight contest. To my right, in the blue corner, she's a karate specialist, standing 5 feet 4 inches tall. Checking in at 116 pounds, her record an impressive 5 wins, 1 loss, and 1 draw from El Paso, Texas, Cynthia Sin Arcio. And her opponent in the red corner, she's a mixed martial artist with a height of 5 feet 4 inches tall. Reporting this evening at 115.8 pounds, she enters the cage with 5 victories and only 2 blemishes to her name. From Denver, Colorado, Mallory Martin. Your referee, Nick Behrens.
Strawweight's ready to go inside the Invicta FC octagon. It is the newcomer Cynthia Arcio taking on Mallory Martin. TJ DeSantis, Julie Kedzie, Memorial Hall, Kansas City, Kansas, for Invicta FC 38. Touch of gloves, we are underway. Arcio immediately setting up in that traditional sort of karate stance, light on her feet.
Very light on her feet, nice little switch. Her hands are a little bit low.
Martin expected Arcio to try to stick and move. She called it running.
Well, I would say that it's running if it's not successful, but, you know, stick and move is a very good strategy for a fighter. Nice, hard jab right there.
Don't rush it.
Big punches by Martin, backing up Arcio a bit.
And when you're used to training Muay Thai, many fighters train as Muay Thai as their striking base, because it lends itself well to the knees and elbows that you can throw in the cage. But when you're fighting somebody who's stylistically, you know, switching stances, fighting more of a bouncy karate style, it can be off-putting. It can kind of be frustrating at times to find your opening.
Martin able to initiate the clinch now. Arcio.
She's got double underhook, and she's got that leg crack, and she's immediately trying to transition into the mouth. Arcio.
Half guard here for Martin.
Yep, switches over there. She's in half guard. I can't quite see the hand as if you can see Martin, a brown belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, trying to set up a good platform to hit and submit.
Keep those knees pinched tight. Knees tight. Post the hand
She's got
on the elbow,
Arcio parallel to the cage, which can prevent Arcio from using it to get up. You can see Arcio pushing with that left foot, kind of trying to drive in there, get a base so she can switch her hips over. Good shots there from Martin. Arcio's trying to control that wrist. It's a good strategy.
We've really seen Martin have a lot of success with her ground and pound in the past. Very aggressive with her offense here, but putting on pressure as well. It's not fun to be on the bottom of Mallory Martin, even if you're not taking a lot of strikes.
It's not. She's got great hips, and she really likes to hit people. She really likes to do damage there. So Arcio tying up her hands and keeping her from doing what she likes to do the most while she's trying to switch her hips out is smart. And you can see Martin changing her platform, driving over to a more side control position, not maybe fully in with her hips. Again, Arcio's trying to control that opposite wrist and get her back to the cage so she can use it to get to her feet.
Elbow.
I like basing on the face like that if you can keep it there. It's a nice way to skid sort of an elbow without having to give up too much forward pressure. Good bicep control there by Arcio.
Yes, again. That's okay.
Arcio trying to get a guard back.
Don't worry about that guard.
See, yep, getting to a position where she can get herself to the cage, reach herself up, and off-balance the other fighter, or the fighter on top. It's a smart strategy from her body. I like how Mallory Martin has her face pinned, though. That's smart. It does keep her kind of from attempting to get all the way out and keep that pressure. Now Martin's got it. He's tied up and he's going to the side. That's good in terms of taking her back if Arcio doesn't get a left under her.
Credit to Arcio, back to her feet. Martin still pushing forward with this pressure, kneeing the thighs of 𝐓𝐇𝐈𝐒.
And Martin's head control is very nice right there.
Yes! Yes!
90 seconds remain here in round number 1.
Work, Mal!
And those little knees can kind of keep you from trying to execute big explosive positions. You know, for 𝐓𝐇𝐈𝐒, she really kind of has to get that left underhook. She's got to make something happen with that, or she's going to stay pinned and wrapped up like this. Her hips are free. Oh, there's the left underhook, and that does allow her to spin off the cage.
𝐓𝐇𝐈𝐒 able to get free, now back at space. 1 minute remains here in round number 1. See if 𝐓𝐇𝐈𝐒 can make up for some lost time where she was controlled. Nice kick to the body there by the Texan.
Yeah, I like the way that's whipping around. That's got a nice little sting on it. I like the knee kicks too. That's a smart way of keeping somebody, you know, from completely committing to forward pressure.
A jab a moment ago by 𝐓𝐇𝐈𝐒 found a home, kind of stunned Mallory Martin.
You can see Martin's looking for that opening. She's looking for a way where she can get into an explosive combination.
Confident and light on her feet is 𝐓𝐇𝐈𝐒. Nice left hand there by Martin.
Yeah, I like seeing a double hook like that. You don't see that as much in MMA where you go low and then high on that.
Nice right hand there.
That was really good. That interrupted kind of her forward momentum.
Minutes in the books. Mallory Martin, Cynthia 𝐓𝐇𝐈𝐒. Martin showing that pressure, signature style that she brings to fighting, but then we saw 𝐓𝐇𝐈𝐒 again on the feet as well, throwing with conviction in the latter part of the round. But I believe that round did belong to Mallory Martin. 𝐓𝐶IO still content to play her game when she can at range.
Absolutely, and you know, even when she was in a defensive position, by wrapping Martin up, she was able to kind of forestall any serious damage off her back. She was able to get where she could get her hips free and she could get back to her feet. Martin was in control on the ground. You know, she had a really nice job, and she did land quite a few of those smaller shots on the ground, but she wasn't able to launch those huge elbows and kind of that overwhelming power that we usually see from her.
When Mallory Martin is in control, it's for really long periods of time, and then when we see 𝐓𝐶IO have her moments, it's combinations that are sometimes separated by, you know, honestly just time, and you got to believe that the judge is scoring this if this goes, you know, the full 15 minutes. It's Martin that kind of leaves a bigger impression, because when she's in control, it's for minutes on end.
I agree. She's in control for more of the round, but she is definitely facing some different problems. You know, she's a different kind of set of pressures in this fight, and again, I can't get in the judge's heads.
Long way to go before we get there. Round 2 underway. Mallory Martin in the blue top, 𝐓𝐶IO in the black.
I'd like to see Martin throwing that right hand a little bit more, really believing in more. Nice, hard, stiff right hand there from 𝐓𝐶IO.
See Martin pressing forward with strikes, and 𝐓𝐶IO able to circle away quite nicely. She does have the movement and timing down.
Yeah, when you fight somebody who's kind of in a more sideways karate-style stance, it opens them up for leg kicks, but it also, especially for those lead side kicks, and especially for the angles, it does give them a better opportunity to kind of escape. It's harder to set them up for things.
In that first round, we saw Mallory Martin punch her way into the clinch, and that's where she was able to get the fight to the floor. So far here, 45 seconds into round number 2, content to stand on the outside is Martin in exchange.
Yeah, and she's getting hit as a result of that. She really kind of, I think, needs to close that distance again, get on the inside, get this fight to the ground again, and not risk, you know, some of these shots. Nice grabbing the side kick, very smartly done.
Well executed takedown by Mallory Martin, back in control on the floor with a lot of time to work.
A lot of time to work, and again, she's using that head pressure on the ground to keep 𝐓𝐶IO pushed up against the cage. I really like the way she did that, because the side kick returns right back to your hips. You can follow that straightforward pressure into the takedown. More fighters should grab side kicks.
Full guard here for Cynthia 𝐓𝐶IO.
Now let's beat her up from here.
Martin's putting a lot of pressure on the top. She's got an underhook with her right arm, which can actually, it can help her and hurt her. If 𝐓𝐶IO has some slick hips, she can try to use it to set up an armbar. But again, Mallory Martin, brown belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, nicely done the way she passed the foot that way and put pressure on 𝐓𝐶IO's left knee and prevented her from being able to push her hips.
And this is that signature pressure game of Mallory Martin, never contented to sit in someone's guard, always looking to pass, always looking to punish.
Yeah, and I like that. good knees from the bottom there. I think she's really kind of looking for that dope mount from Mallory Martin, or she's looking to get into full side control.
But a little knee to the body there by Martin as well.
But RCO's knee's giving her a little bit of pressure there. That knee and the hip is preventing her from flattening her completely. I like the elbows to the liver.
Halfway point of this fight.
And so I think Martin can be setting up, or she may have been trying to set up a head and arm choke earlier. She's not quite there, but she does have that arm isolated. Now underneath the head, this is a good position for Martin to work and to really work the pass over with that far side knee. Nicely done. Can't see if she's under the chin or not. I'm not right in that camera space, but you can see she's really setting up head and arm. She's a full mount now, which is also great for her kind of pressure, power punching, she might want to say.
She has a little more space now, but was the cage in the way of trying to get over to that side for the head and arm?
Yeah, I think so, for doing it for a submission, but for a positional control and getting her to mount, I think it can actually help because it would keep RCO's arm trapped up there. She'd have to kind of push it vertically.
Now in full mount is Mallory Martin. Nice right elbow finds a home.
And this is Mallory Martin's home in more ways than one. This is where she's comfortable. This is where she likes to take her opponent's will.
90 seconds left for Mallory Martin to rain down some punishment here in round number 2.
You see RCO pushing on the head, really pushing with her hips and squirming, trying to get herself. Earlier in the first round, she got her back to the cage and she tried to use that as a method of escaping. Mallory Martin keeping nice control here, really keeping her feet tied up.
Over the top with the right elbow goes Martin.
And now she's actually, well, when RCO stretches her arms out like that, it sort of tempts that arm bar, but Martin's not falling for that. She's maintaining position instead of trying to roll out for something, which I admire. I know submissions and finishes are important, but damage is super, super important, again, especially against savvy fighters.
Big elbows here by Mallory Martin. RCO forced to take this punishment. 30 seconds left in the round.
Wow,
Martin coming alive with offense.
Amazing elbow right there, really smart.
20 seconds now.
I
More
love
right
the way
hands. RCO just covered up.
Yeah, I was going to say, I love the way Martin will establish a base with her other hand in order to have kind of pressure for that elbow. It's really nice. It's a good way of counter-pressuring in. Now, if RCO survives this round, which it looks like she might, then Martin's got to get back to all this work again, but she's definitely putting a statement on the second round.
Mallory Martin, solid second round, turned in. She is really a terror on top.
She's starting to shout to herself too, shout to the crowd, coming alive now. I think, that gave her maybe the key to what she was looking for. She was eating some shots on her feet, but catching that side kick coming in really turned the tide for her. And also, I think it really made her confidence grow.
Headed to a third and final round. Here's some of the action. Walk us through, Julie.
Now, if we watch the way she follows the angle of that side kick all the way to the takedown, pins her opponent to the cage, and begins these positioning, getting to mount, and really throwing these elbows. And these elbows, these are hard elbows, TJ. The way her pressure is, the way she's kind of planted out when she throws. Even if you're hitting the arms at times, the ones that get through are very powerful, and your own arms end up hitting your face a lot of the time. It hurts to get hit in the face. As covered as RCO is right there, she is taking some damage.
Momentum on the side of Mallory Martin as we head into the final frame. We'll see what adjustments Cynthia RCO is able to make here.
And I'm guessing those adjustments are going to be doing a lot more kicks, probably trying for a head kick knockout. She's definitely got the bounce in her step. She's got her right foot, left foot behind her. And, she's looking for those big shots. Martin's going to be looking for a takedown again. I like RCO's angles on that. It makes it hard for Martin to find her.
For RCO, she needs to be confident with these strikes, but needs to make sure that she doesn't get wrapped up by Martin's clinch and taken to the floor once again.
Yeah, it should be 1, 2, 3, and then exit. 1, 2, 3, exit. Definitely exiting on angles. Otherwise, Martin will just kind of drive forward like that once she gets you moving backward. I like that RCO exits. Again, I like that she exits on angles. It's harder for Martin to get those shots. Nice left hook there from Martin.
tried to get the clinch there. 𝐓𝐇𝐈𝐒 able to evade.
You know, and I think for Martin to kind of catch that, we see 𝐓𝐇𝐈𝐒 moving to her right quite a bit, even with her left leg forward. I think it's going to be fake jabs to left hooks. Left hooks have done well for Martin on her feet here, and it kind of stops those little stutter shots and those odd angles that 𝐓𝐶IO was able to hit her from.
Left hand splits the guard there of Martin.
That was a good shot. She stopped and admired her work, but Martin didn't take advantage of that lull, so. Good. That was really nicely done by Martin. She's getting a sense of where the target is, where the head is. 𝐓𝐶IO's chin's a bit high, but as a fighter who fought with her chin high continually, I don't know that that's necessarily a critique. It just might be just stylistically. She's got a good chin. I like that side kick to the knee a lot.
𝐓𝐶IO having some success here, but Martin's still very game to exchange.
And I think Martin maybe just looking for the perfect opportunity. There's a head kick. Looking for the kind of perfect opportunity to tie things up and get her back down. I don't know if you can wait for those opportunities when somebody's bouncing and angling a lot.
Martin coming forward with some punches.
𝐓𝐶IO's breathing out of her mouth a lot right here. I don't think that necessarily means she's had damage to her nose, but it could work in Mallory Martin's favor in terms of hitting the chin. Nice shots there. Good angle off.
Guilherme Cruz checking in on Twitter saying that 𝐓𝐶IO definitely needs a finish in this third against Mallory Martin. You got to believe that positional dominance and offensive punishment with the strikes and the ground and pound. Got to believe Martin's in front of this one.
I agree with that statement. I think she should definitely be looking for a finish, a big, solid knockout if she can get it, because Martin has been able to get her down every single round, and in that, she's just able to be far more dominant.
Always aggressive is Mallory Martin. Under 2 minutes remain here in the fight. Martin back inside.
She's in side control, and you can see 𝐓𝐶IO's getting to a position trying to prevent the mount. I think nice knees right there, but I think, yeah, there should be more of an attempt for an explosion because, again, mount is taken anyway. A savvy player is going to understand what you're doing right there and attempt something else.
Some posture there by Martin. Fired a couple elbows, now short right hands.
And 𝐓𝐶IO tying up, trying to keep Martin from establishing a good base with her upper body to be able to hit. A lot of blood happening there on 𝐓𝐶IO's face.
Cut on the right eyebrow, it looks like, of Cynthia 𝐓𝐶IO.
And I do like how she's trying to control the posture, trying to control the biceps and the wrists at times, but that's not really shutting down what's happening. It's her hips that need to be measured, her feet that need to be explosive right there in order to keep Martin from really hitting hard.
Slicing with these elbows is Mallory Martin. You can see the product of that on the face of Cynthia 𝐓𝐶IO. More posture by Martin coming down with the right forearm.
Yeah, we've really had a nice bloody night here of fights. I like the way that, look at the way Martin pokes it on the face and try to find that shot again. This is where Martin increases her pace a lot of the time. I don't know that 𝐓𝐶IO is defending herself. Well, I guess she's grabbing her wrist, she's still moving her hips, so.
Defending or not, this is not where you want to be.
No, she is taking some damage right now, TJ.
Final 10 seconds left in the fight.
I like Martin now using the head kind of as a base when the wrist is grabbed.
Momentum on her side, to say the least. Mallory Martin turns in another sterling performance, a factor to say the least in this strawweight division.
Ground and pound is one of my favorite aspects of this sport, TJ. You know, it's really a leveling factor.
In ground and pound is one thing, but Mallory Martin's ground and pound, it's different than a lot of other fighters' ground and pound. She's always trying to move, position, get into a very pressure situation where she's making her opponent feel it, even if she's not striking per se. She uses her head well, she uses her weight well, and when she does land with elbows, she cuts her face open.
And she also uses tempo well. Her ground and pound crescendos. Once she finds a way to get that shot in on somebody's face or somebody's body. And once she's in that platform that she's established, she lets it go and the momentum builds and builds and builds. She doesn't slow down in her shots. She speeds up, and that's really hard to deal with.
Judges tallying their 10s and 9. Mallory Martin really turning in a nice bit of work here. Said the RCO was very game. Had some moments on the feet testing the stand-up of Mallory Martin, but the corner of Martin very happy with the 15 minutes that she turned in, and she may be headed for her 5th straight victory.
Yeah, I think RCO came in here and gave a very solid performance as a debut Invicta fighter in a very tough division. I'm excited to see what her next fight is and what she's able to do, but I think tonight was definitely Martin's night.
To make this one official for our decision, here's Hartzell Gray.
The distance now to the scorecard. Judge Kevin Champion sees it 30-26. Judge Greg DeVilbiss scores it as well, 30-26. And Judge Stephen Graham sees it as 30-27 by unanimous decision. Your winner, Mallory Martin!
Mallory Martin does it again. A victory via unanimous decision. Here tonight in Kansas City, she will speak with Megan Anderson.
Mallory, that's okay. What an amazing performance. It's been a minute since you've been here in the Invicta cage. This has got to feel amazing to come back here and put on such a dominating performance.
Oh man, it feels good. You know, I'm glad to be back. But I mean, if you keep feeding me these girls, like I'm just gonna keep beating them up. So I need something more. I need something tougher. I need a better challenge, you know, and I try to finish her. She's tough, you know, so try to get the job done, but she held in. Yeah.
Well, one thing you definitely said coming into this is that if it got to the cage and it got into the floor, it was your world. Did you see, is this how you envisioned this fight happening? You knew you were going to be able to dominate her on the floor?
I envisioned blood, you know, that's all I wanted. I wanted blood and I wanted it everywhere. I wanted her blood all over me, you know, and that's all I kept envisioning was, well, I knew I would get her to the ground and I just wanted to land 1 or 2 clean elbows to cut her and I just wanted to see blood. That's all I envisioned, you know, so.
Absolute savage. Well, I know you are teammates with Emily Ducote and she's fighting for the strawweight title later on this evening. Is that something that you look for down the line? Like you have to think with a performance like this, a title shot is next, what do you see next?
Yeah, I mean, if that doesn't put me there, then I don't know what, you know? But Emily is a savage too, you know, she's really good and I think she's gonna get the job done tonight. She has a tough opponent who's world-class wrestling, you know, but I've trained with her. She's one of my best training partners and I think she's gonna get the belt tonight. So we'll see what happens, but I mean, we'll see, you know?
Congratulations, Mallory. Ladies and gentlemen, your winner, Mallory Martin.